Yeah, the documentaries are cool. It's fun. It's really fun to get out there and record stuff with people like Madison. Madison's really awesome. He actually released Smoothie Madness 2 today, episode 2. And he did all of that on his own. For the most part, he hired like other people to do the camera work and editing and stuff like that. Super funny though. I just checked it out a few hours ago, and yeah, it's got some moments for sure.
How did you decide on Dax Flame being the subject of number 2 after Airsoft Fatty, which was amazing? And we'll pop the links in to the description on both of those videos, and then Dax's as well. But yeah, I mean, you establish this with Airsoft Fatty, and that was so good. It was just remarkable in every way. And then you got to do another one of these things. You have every possible subject in the world. How do you land on Dax Flame?
I think I met him at like Jack's Films bachelor party or something like that. Yeah, some sort of bachelor thing. And I was like, oh my gosh, the whole night I was like, look at him. I'm like, that's Dax Flame. But I didn't know how to approach it. I didn't know that he was like super approachable at that time. I was just eyeballing him. But eventually we talked for a little bit, and he seemed like a nice guy. Saw him at, I think, Will's party, maybe another party. And yeah, just, I mean, talking to him just made me realize, oh, like, because I was interested in what he's been up to and everything. So it was like super organic, you know. I think a lot of people get in this weird mode in their head of like, this is what the next documentary has to be. Like after we put out the Airsoft Fatty one, I got all these messages about like this juggalo kind of fella. And I think he's maybe from Midwest or the Michigan area, who is like superhuman, something like that, where he fucking body slam, I don't know, mouse traps. He'd say juggalos and juggalettes, let's do this shit. And then he'd body slam a printer or something like that. And he really hurt himself. And most people sent me that as like, this is the next documentary subject, because they only had it in their head that we were checking out weirdos from the Midwest. So now that this has come out, a lot of people have other ideas. Their sort of ideas have shifted to, oh, maybe the next one will be about, you know, this awkward person who's similar to Dax. But I think the whole point is just to move on to a new thing that's different enough and, you know, is cool and entertaining.
Real quick, I want to point to the thing you said about being in awe of Dax Flame at this party. That Dax has this aura that you're just, you know. All
right, maybe saying being in awe was a little bit much.
What to do.
Yeah, I don't think I was in awe. Well, I don't think my jaw was dropped on the floor like a big cartoon wolf with my tongue rolling out. I wasn't in awe. Let's put it this way. I was intrigued by this man of mystery in the corner who had these luscious locks of hair on his head. And I was like, that might be Daximus Flame.
Well, there are really 3 people in YouTube who I've wanted to talk to in person. Okay. Where I've had that element of intrigue that you just described about Dax. One of them was you. I got to check that off the bucket list. I never have to talk to you again in person. And that was awesome. But many years ago, all I cared about was meeting Dax Flame. And this must have been like 2013 or something. I was sitting in a room with Kevin at one of the panels, and halfway through it, Dax walked out to go do something. And, you know, it was obvious who he was, and he was the only guy leaving the big room. And like, I couldn't stop myself. I jumped up and ran outside, like to follow him like a creep, and, you know, just say hi and get a picture and whatever. So I know the draw, I know the allure of those locks.
Yeah. It's fun to see a celebrity or, you know, someone you recognize from something. It's very, it gets your heart racing. It's really cool.
Well, he was really one of the first people I ever watched on YouTube. And when your video came out, a lot of people said that. A lot of people were like, oh my God, I haven't thought of him in a long time, but this was the first thing that got me into YouTube, you know? And when he's talking about being in the top 10 or 15 of subscribers with, you know, 120,000 or something like that, it was a completely different era, and there wasn't that much on the platform. But everybody from that 2007-ish time seems to have remembered watching this.
It was also for sure. Where you could just
go
be
ahead,
weird.
Kevin.
Like, I was just thinking about YouTube in those days, and it was such a different time where you could find somebody like Dax Flame and just be completely blown away by how unique and different he was, and you'd never seen anything like that before. And it doesn't seem like that really happens anymore, does it? Like, are we?
Sure it does. You link me all sorts of fucking weirdos on Twitter DMs.
Yeah, but nobody watches them except me and you, hopefully.
Yeah. It's such a bigger spectrum. I think some of the ones you'll link will have 8 views, and in which case I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, like where's the attention that they're getting. But then there's some other ones who have gotten that, like, you know, user base. I think Report of the Week is a great example of that. Feature
awesome.
Man is a great example of that. Even like lower on the totem pole, like not as many views. You know who Feature Man is, yeah?
I'm not familiar. No.
Yeah.
It's the guy with the watermelon, eating my watermelon with my clone, something like that.
Yeah. You told us about him the first time you came on the podcast.
Yeah. I think he's gotten more, a little bit more of a fan base since then.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just super interesting. Like even when the stuff isn't well produced or whatever, it's just like this window in to someone's life that's, you know, different from yours.
God, I have to send you someone too. I forgot to send you, who just reviews and very seriously will review like household products. Like, he'll do a review of like Ajax. He'll be like, look, here's Ajax. This is a dish soap, and here's what it says on it, and here are its many uses. You can do this with Ajax. You can wash plates like this, and he takes it really, really, really seriously. And it's not a gag. It's not a parody.
Yeah.
This guy's just like, this is the stuff he has around his house, and he wants to make videos, so he decided to just kind of review the things he can get his hands on. I can't think of his name off the top of my head.
It's a good way to start, man. Into making videos, a lot of people hesitate. You know, even Dax, he hadn't posted in a long time because it was like, what the hell do I make videos on? I like that though. Reviewing Ajax.